Hey all, my name is Kurt. I'm here with Trenton. Welcome to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. And today, Trenton, you picked up a nice little goodie here.
Well, I didn't pick it up. I'll just say that. My good friend, he's in the Discord, he's a patron, Doug S. I put this in our In Search Of channel.
Really?
And he messaged me and he's like, hey, you want this? This was $170.
Yeah.
17-year-old Jim Beam, Clearmont, Hardin's Creek. Similar to the, did we review the 15?
I don't know if we ever reviewed it, Trenton. Did we?
Well, we can bring it out here real quick and we can kind of talk about it.
All right.
They actually have a 2-year-old Hardin's Creek.
Yeah, this is the Jacob's Well.
They have a 2-year-old Hardin's Creek, a 15, and now the newest edition is a 17. This is the Clearmont Hardin's Creek.
Okay.
I guess they also have a Boston and another one.
Colonel? It's coming out or something? I don't know. I read a little bit when you said we're going to bring this bottle down. I have no idea. Sorry if I
Our research is impeccable for this video. All I know is...
I don't know much about the brand new things coming out. That's a fact.
That's true. All I know is that this is 17-year-old Jim Beam, Clearmont. There's 2 other variations of this. I don't know how the flavor profiles differ. This is going to be the one. This is the only one that I heard of or was offered to purchase.
Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit about this. 17 years. Wow.
Oh, good. You did read about it.
Yeah, just a touch.
I didn't read anything.
110 proof.
Yes.
So that's, it sounds pretty interesting. I know this one here, Trenton, we talked a little bit about it here and there, and I can't remember if it was on our live stream or whatever, the Jacob's Well, but it's 108 proof and it's 15 years, 4 months, I think I read.
Okay.
But to me, there's even some savory notes in there. It's really unique. It's rich. It's pretty rich. It's got some depth to it. You can definitely tell you're kind of sipping some Jim Beam, but really
that's what I love.
On another level, though.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really neat.
Well, I can tell you right now that even on this one, you get this little fancy little medallion here that
cool.
really sets it over the top for me.
I like the bottling here
with standpoint.
With a leather strap and stuff on it too, and
well,
everything that's going on.
It even comes in. I thought maybe for Hardin's Creek this was like a tin, but this is like a box that's made to look like a tin.
All right.
Well, so this is like the Bardstown cap.
Yeah. Yeah, but still pretty neat.
Still cool.
Yeah.
But I guess what really matters is what's in the old...
what it's going to taste like.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out.
Now, again, Kurt did a little... I think, right? You did a little...
Yeah, I did a little
roly-poo. Mm-hmm. And this has been open for about an hour.
Okay.
Been in the glasses for a little bit less than that, probably 30, 45 minutes.
Okay.
So we're dealing with a neck pour, but it's been aerated to
a little bit, yeah. But, this is a fresh crack. Let's just put it that way. But I'm glad you brought it over because I've been really looking forward to this, especially after kind of diving into this Jacob's Well a little bit here and there. Really interesting and unique bourbon and very, very good.
Yeah, I think that was one that you and Kent tried, so I'm looking forward. I don't think that I tried the 15.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, you keep all the good stuff, So.
Oh boy, here we go.
Now I'm a little bit out of practice. I haven't, apart from the last video we shot, which we didn't drink. Oh, we drank a little bit of that Jim Beam vintage.
Just a little bit, yeah.
I haven't had bourbon much for the last week and a half.
I know.
So I am rusty, but this smells beefy.
I imagine you were sipping a little bit of Graham's Long Island iced tea.
No,
She didn't make it?
No, she did. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan.
Hers is the best. Hers is the very best.
A lot of gin and tonics, though. A lot of those.
All right. Trent, man, this is really, really a nice nose for me. I'm getting a lot of baking spices on the nose.
I'm just getting a bunch of quintessential Jim Beam, kind of like a beefy. This is like Jim Beam in a tank top after the lift. It's the muscles are looking big. It's really in your face with the flavor there.
I will say you're really good. You're really good at picking up Jim Beam. I will say that. I can get it a little bit more on the palate, the nose. No.
I could get some, what'd you say, baking spices?
Yeah.
I could get that with this.
Yeah, I'm really getting some really nice baking spices. Now, for my curiosity, are you getting that peanutty note that they always say they get with Jim Beam?
Just a tad. It's not as peanutty as some other Jim Beam products that I've had and tasted and smelled.
I cannot myself. I was trying, but I cannot. And I was wondering with the elevated, age, if that was going to kind of go away a little bit.
If anything, it's kind of like a Cracker Jack kind of thing. It's like a peanutty with a sweetness.
Okay.
But I'm getting this beef, like a jerkiness or some kind of...
See?
It's like, have you ever been in the car with somebody who on a car ride gets a beef jerky?
Well, yeah, me once in a while.
It's like if you get out of the car and then get back in, it just kind of oof, really gets you in the face and you can tell that there's some jerky in there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's good. See, that's it kind of rides true a little bit with the Jacob's Well over there with some of the savory notes that I speak of.
It's like a pruniness, datiness.
Yeah,
date. It's got to be like a date.
Definitely.
Yeah. Really nice though.
That's lovely.
That's really good.
Wow, that's robust. It's rich.
So much of that nose transfers to the palate, but in more of like a condensed way or like a rich way, like you were about to say.
Yeah, I'm getting too, Trenton, like a rice spice in there too. I had just a couple little sips of some stuff here and there before we filmed, so this is not my first sip. So it's not feeling hot on the palate per se because first sip of the night, but I'm getting like a rice spice there too on the palate, which is really nice.
There is some hint of like a black pepperiness that I do like. I don't usually get that with Jim Beam products too often. A lot of it's like horse saddle, leathery, biting a whip or something like that.
I wonder if that's coming off the barrel because of the age.
Yeah.
Because there is a little bit of a drying oak effect on the very back. And those things you're going to have to expect when you're tasting a 17-year-old bourbon. But the oak note in here is not, it's not, do you find it to be dank or basement-y? When they talk about, I don't.
I love that basement.
I don't find that in this. I don't even being 17 year. I don't find the library book, the leather shoe people talk about, the basement, the dankness. I don't find that here.
No.
I find the oak to be aged for sure, but rich and kind of caramelized.
Yeah.
But a little bit drying on the back end. But I can live with that with what's going on with the
it's weird
flavor profile.
It's weird for me because it's like dry, but also has like this, like a slipperiness to it. Like obviously it's a liquid, but I don't really know how to describe it. This is like the first thing in a long time that I've experienced this kind of mouthfeel too, and that's really nice. I'll say this is the first Jim Beam product we've tasted since the Apprentice batch, and I gotta say.
Yeah, that Booker's was no good.
Yeah.
That one wasn't. But yeah, this is incredible, really. I mean, I still find it to be, there is definitely some tobacco, a little bit of leather, stuff you might expect, a little bit in an older aged bourbon, but I also find a lot of different baking spice notes there. I don't really find like any light caramel or candy bar notes per se. Maybe a little bit of some brown sugar sweetness there.
There's definitely some sweetness. I get like the faintest bit of like a caramel, but that's about it. But like it's more of like a burnt carameliness. Yes. It's not like
everything's
a really
on the darker side.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Which I mean, for me this is a home run. I don't get me wrong. I wish this was like closer to $100 to $120, not $170.
Don't we all?
But if you're getting something like Apprentice batch for $90. And that's a 7.5 year, and you're getting this for 170 a 17 year.
Yeah.
And it's that much better.
It's a huge jump in quality, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I find it to be one of those pours, Trenton, that you'd want to keep this on your shelf for a good while.
Oh yeah.
And you just want to pour it when you're really, have you ever had times where you just, I really want something, but just give me anything, just give me Old Granddad 114.
Yeah.
Give me some Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm in that mood where I just want to contemplate what I'm sipping.
This is one of those.
This is one of those.
Yeah.
This is one of those where I want to be in the right mood in order to pour that and really enjoy it properly.
Yeah, so, and I'll say I don't remember the last time I finished a sample of anything on here. It's been a hot minute.
Me too.
But that's real good.
Well, I poured you some right here of this. Let's compare it just a touch with the Jacob's Well.
Now that's 184 months. What is this? This is just like a child.
This is 15 years. I think I read 15 years and 4 months, Trent. That one's 108 proof compared to 110 proof. So, we're talking, almost 2 years younger. That's really close to the same proof point. You can't. That's splitting hairs there. Now this one has been open for a year. You know, or close to that.
Long? Wow.
Well, whenever you, I'm saying a year because this one came out, so very well could be 8 months. I don't know.
I 100% have not tried this before.
You have not? Okay, this is going to be exciting then. See, I really like this one too. I've liked this one from the day you brought it down here.
I'm not gonna lie, I think the nose on this has a bit of an edge up. It's a little bit more sweet. Not that I have an issue with like Jim Beam profile,
Sure.
but this is like a Jim Beam profile. Like if it just went into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, like it's really nice and sweet.
I find it to be much sweeter than this one. You know, this one I was saying I found a lot of baking spices. There's not a lot of sweetness there, but a lot of richness per se.
Okay, wow. I don't find the sweetness necessarily transfer a whole lot to the palate, which is interesting. No,
I was waiting for that because I've already had this a few times.
Yeah.
So, you know, I knew what to expect. So when you had all these, the sweetness that you were expounding on so professionally, and the aromas on the nose of this, I was really, really wondering how that was going to come out for you on the palate because I find it, you know, somewhat similar to this one over here. It's, you know, they're two different animals, but yet they're somewhat similar because I'm with you. I don't find a lot of caramel or those kind of candy bar sweetness in this here. It's the same thing. I find even a little bit more savory notes in this one than I do in this one, to tell you the truth.
Like what? I know what it means, but give me an example of like a savory food. Because I'm on the bus right now. I do better with sweets, not like a savory kind of thing. Like a steak, savory?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anything that's more food related, Trenton, rather than, you know, when I say savory, I'm just kind of going towards away from sweetness.
Well, that's your first mistake.
And more into baking spices and things like that too. But, you know, to me, this has so many good things going on with it as well, as did the Claremont.
So, for me, I feel like the 15-year is more like a quintessential Jim Beam profile, whereas this one is the same, but like I feel like this one just has like a bit more sweetness than the 15-year, which is surprising.
Sure,
but
yeah,
I do like the 17 more. I'll say that.
I do too.
Okay,
I can't. Yeah, I do too. I do like this one, but this one is really, really something.
Yeah,
really, it's really good, and
especially on the neck pour. Like, if this opens up any more than it already has,
we all know. I know. Trenton knows. There are some you pour straight out of the neck, and you're like, well, okay, you know that needs to sit for a little bit. You know that came off super hot. That came off whatever. If I didn't know better, I would have never known that this was a neck pour. That came out beautifully right out of the gate.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be interested to see. I'm still trying to get my hands on the Boston and the other batch just to see like if there is a comparison between the two. I think it might be a warehouse variation between the two in the warehouse in which they're aged. Could be wrong. Like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of research. I usually don't.
Well, let's do this. If we can get all of them, which I'm sure one way or another Trenton will.
I will attempt.
Somehow he will. We'll put them all onto the bar top. And at that point, we will know.
We should blind them.
Good idea. We will know everything about each one. And we'll go over that when the time comes. That's fine. I'll look it all up. I'll make sure we know all the details, and we will blind them. That'll be fun.
I'm more of the procurement manager of the show.
It's true. It's true. I'm the shelf guy. I mean,
yeah.
I got no shame in that. I'm the shelf guy. So
that was cool. I'm pleasantly surprised with the value to juice quality ratio that this delivers. Because it seems to me, and I'm going to be a little bit harsh here, that Jim Beam has no issue putting out something like the Apprentice batch and keeping it at the standard Booker's price tag, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it was.
But to follow up with something like that and then go to something like this, it's a pleasant surprise that you pay $170 or something like this and you get the quality. like you would expect for something like Booker's spending $90 on it.
Yeah, and you can't expect every single Booker's batch to be fantastic. We've talked about that many times on this show with different releases.
Right.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, the Larcenies, all of them. But, I mean, I don't want to get in too much trouble here, but that one was so bad.
It was bad.
I'm just, and we talked about it after the show. I'm just shocked that I'd like to know who was responsible for saying, yes, we're going to go with that legitimately. And everybody knows we're not pros.
Heck
we're not professionals. We're just a couple dudes back here, the basement bourbon bar, sipping some whiskey and talking about it with you folks. That's all we are. But yet, that was such a travesty.
It was.
That last book. I'm sorry. I don't even want to get on that rabbit trail. But we talked about it too. It's like who was responsible for saying, "Yep, I'll sign that. That's good. That's good. Bottle it up."
It was but I'm glad they followed it up with something.
But then we
good.
get this. So. Yeah, I would 10 times rather pay $170 for this and enjoy it for a lengthy period of time than pay the $90 for that apprentice.
And it's still right down there.
Is it?
And it has been since we filmed it.
No thanks. All right, hey, that's all we got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I found this to be fantastic, Trent.
It was awesome,
thanks for bringing it down. This is great.
Thanks again to Doug S.
Doug, man, really appreciate your help with that. Boy, I'll tell you what, thank you so much. All right, as always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. We'll see you next time, right down here with Trent and I in a good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.